All right, so now that you've secured your inspection, I'm gonna walk you through everything you need to know to do a proper roof inspection. First things first, you'll need your cougar paws and a ladder. Looks like we have everything we need. Let's go. We start the inspection on the roof because if the roof isn't totaled, you're wasting your time anyways. So first we need to find a safe place to go up. Whenever you set up your ladder, you want to do so in a valley. That's where two slopes meet. You want to extend the ladder 2 to 3 feet above the gutter line, but never step on that portion of the ladder because the bottom could kick out on you. When you're climbing the ladder, you want to keep a close center of gravity so that the top of the ladder doesn't pull away from the roof. You also want to set the ladder up on a firm and level base so that it doesn't shake or go side to side as you climb up the ladder. All right, guys, we're ready to go up. Let's go. So the first thing I check when I climb onto a roof is the inside of the gutters, the pan. I look for these granules here. And what this means is that there was a storm that came through that knocked the granules loose. So your first step onto the roof is going to be into the valley. You want to step with a flat foot so that you have the most traction. And while you're walking on the roof, you want to keep primarily to the valleys, especially if it's a steep slope. One more thing is you need to trust your gut. If it feels sketchy, it most likely is. During the inspection, you're going to take roughly 40 to 50 photos. The first photo is actually going to be at the front of the house. But once you're on the roof, the first thing I look for is these soft metals. So those are your vent caps, vent covers. All you do is take a piece of chalk and you drag it horizontally across the surface to reveal the dents that are left behind. The reason I check the soft metals first is because they're gonna show whether or not there was hail that affected the roof. From there, I'll grab some photos of that and then I'll move to my test squares. When you chalk up a test square, you're gonna look for 3 or 4 solid hits and then you're gonna draw your outline. Test square is 10 foot by 10 foot and you're gonna look for 8 to 10 hits in that test square. I start my test square by finding 3 or 4 bad hits. From there, I'll draw the outline. So for example, I would walk up to this hit, brush my thumb across it, and then I would chalk it. That's one hail hit. I need 8 to 10 of those on 3 out of the 4 slopes for this roof to get bought by insurance. So when you finish your test square, you have to label it. So there's typically 4 slopes to the house. This is the back slope. So it's labeled B for back equals H for hail equals 8 plus, 10 plus, however many hits that you have. That's gonna help you when you look back at your photos later on to know which slope had which damage. All right, so you've wrapped up your test squares. Now you need to take a couple pictures. You wanna start by taking a picture of the label. That lets you know which slope this is. You're also gonna take a couple close-up photos of each individual hail hit and then an overview of the entire slope. Next, you're gonna move around the roof looking for other signs of damage. This could be torn or missing shingles, mechanical damage that occurred when the roof was installed, broken skylight, etc. These are going to show the homeowner that on top of the hail damage, the roof really does need to be replaced. You can find a few hits to the lip of the gutters as you're heading down the roof. Grab some photos because sometimes it's hard to see them from the ground. So once you get off the roof, you want to start looking for the collateral damage. This could be anything from window screens, downspouts, fence. So like you see here, we have a hit on this window screen. What it does is it rips the screen, it lets bugs in. Insurance pays for those to be replaced. You've also got some hits to the downspouts here. Insurance will pay for the entire downspout. And then here around the corner, we've got some good fence spatter that I'll show you as well. So what you can see here is the hail damage knocked the stain off of this fence. Insurance will pay to have it power washed and restained to bring it back to pre-storm conditions. A couple other things you want to look for in collateral damage is like hits to the AC units, garage door, and then personal property. When taking photos of these, you want a close-up of the damage and then a 0.5 on your phone of an overview of that elevation to know where the damage occurred. You don't need a ton of photos, you just need a good example of each type of damage to show the homeowner. You'll get the rest of the photos at the adjuster meeting. So now that you have what you need to go back to your car, transfer those photos to your iPad to show the homeowner, and then prep the COC for the close. All right guys, so that's all it takes for an inspection. I know it can seem a little bit overwhelming, but you can always reach out to your manager, ask them for advice and tips on how to help you with the inspection. But yeah, we're excited for you guys to start knocking.